in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows, there's a man with a passion that everybody knows.
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome to HT's EDC, coming at you from the back patio this morning. And we have the co-host here, Miss Abby. She is right here on my right-hand side. You got anything to say to the people this morning? You gonna tell them hello? She is out here keeping us safe from all these wild critters that could come out of these Arkansas hills anytime now. But anyway, we are glad to be with you. Got a cool one for you this morning, I believe. We got out of town yesterday. Me and the wife kind of went on a date day, if you will. We went up to Little Rock, the Conway area, kind of middle of the state, Arkansas here, geographically, and we did some shopping, some pilfering around yesterday. Just had us a big old time. Ate at one of my wife's favorites, breakfast, the Waffle House. Woohoo! We fancy like Applebee's. We ate at the Waffle House for breakfast. But anyway, it was a good time. They burnt my hash browns. Something you got to know about HT. Hash browns. I'm a burn my hash browns kind of guy. I like them crispy. And when the waiter or waitress comes to the table, they ask, how you like your hash browns or whatever, and I say, burn them. And they look at me crazy, and I'm like, I want them to crunch. And I got a shout out to the Waffle House in Maumelle, Arkansas. They made them crunch. It was awesome. Normally, you know, you tell them extra crispy, or I want my hash browns crispy, and they're 90% of the time they're never like I like them. So I've started telling my waiter or waitress to burn them. I want them to crunch when I hit them with my fork. That's me. Call me weird. I like crispy hash browns. But shout out to the Waffle House. They nailed it spot on yesterday. Some of the best hash browns I've had in a while. So you guys didn't come to hear about hash browns. You came to hear about pocket knife. And we have one coming up. In all of our travails yesterday, was able to twist my arm between all of her looking and shopping we did for her. We did wrangle in a couple of antique malls. And antique malls, pawn shops, you guys know where we're going. What a lot of time there are in those establishments. And check, we found 2 pocket knives yesterday. So it was a good day for yours truly too. We had a good time, good meals, and came home with 2 more pocket knives. Remember this, folks. Happy wife, get more knife. There you go. And yesterday it was get 2 knives. So the one I want to show you today, I showed a little earlier in my short of what you toting. So that should tell you something. I got this thing less than 24 hours ago, and it is in my pocket today. It is one of just the coolest knives I've ever came across. Never heard of this knife, never seen it before yesterday. I have done a little bit of my homework where I can tell y'all some stuff about it and a little bit of the history. But without further ado, we just got to show this thing and talk about it. Check it out. This, and look at there, even got a little focus, is the Big Chief Granddaddy Barlow from Queen, USA. And folks, this thing, when I tell you is simple, it has, and I've looked at the diagram for this knife. Like I said, I did a little homework. Didn't want to come on here and, be half-stepping and not know a thing about it, because I didn't know a thing about it before yesterday. So everything I know, I've read and versed up on last night and this morning to talk about this thing. This thing has 4 parts. 4 parts to this knife. This frame is an integral, I've heard it both ways. What that means is this is one solid piece of cast aluminum. This is one piece. No top cover or scale, no bottom. It's all built together. So there's one of those components. Number 2, this blade, which we might as well get open. Let y'all see the whole package going on here. This is what it looks like. So, one piece frame. Number 2 is the blade, clip point blade, which this is a 440 series stainless steel blade. We have these 2 little spots right here, little cutouts. In this integral frame is your spring that's housed underneath all this. They've got this all, and it comes out up here and here, and that is housing your spring in there. And buddy, when I tell you a spring, we're going to get into that in a minute. That's your spring, and it is all put together right here. Your blade and all is attached with one pin, one pivot pin up top. Those are your 4 components of this knife. And this is one of those cases where a simple mousetrap is the best mousetrap. This thing is just awesome. From what I understand, and we'll show you this etching on the blade. Man, shoot, we had good focus a while ago. Don't know if y'all can see that. Now we're getting a shadow out here. But anyway, this blade, maybe if I turn it right there, says Queen Steel number 45, made in the USA. That is etched on this blade. And if you come around here, and this is a big detail on the chronological, the dating of this knife, you have a patent number right here. So by looking that up last night, that blade etching on the blade with a patent number on the front, and that's it. That's all the markings that's on this knife, minus this Big Chief stamping here on the handle. That is a 1971 through a 1984. They use this little combination here. So at the youngest, this is a 40-year-old knife. 84, 2024. So this is at least 40 years old, and if it's a 71 going back to 71, I'm a 74, so it could be as old as 53 years old. So this is a 40 to 53-year-old knife. Hate it when they do those ranges of dates on the knives that you can't pinpoint the actual year, but tis what it is. They didn't ask my opinion. But this knife has been out since like 1955 in the Queen catalogs. The patent for this Big Chief number 45 was applied for in 1953, and in 1955 the patent was relinquished. They were given a patent for this, and thus the Big Chief, the number 45, Granddaddy Barlow, came into existence. And folks, this thing is just cool a while. And from what I understand, this was Queen's first kind of take on a rust-free knife. A lot of people call this the diver's knife, diver's Barlow. It is made of stainless steel, 440, and freaking aluminum. So like everything on this is severely rust resistant. 440 steel isn't rust proof, but this was kind of their take on a rust proof knife. A lot of people use this in the boats and the kayaks, fishing knives, around water. Again, they called it like a diver's knife, but it is their take on a very low corrosive knife. that is not gonna rust on you, and can be around wet environments, wet, salty, whatever saltwater environment, and not just corrode right up on you. But let's get to the star of the show. I told you this thing has 4 pieces to it. Well, one of those 4 is this. You can't see it in here because it's all behind, it's all, you can see here where it's cut out, where it's trapped. Basically, they have it all trapped underneath this this integral frame here. But we're talking about the spring. And folks, this is one of the darndest springs I've ever seen. Now, I'm going to show you right now, and I promise you when I'm doing this, I am pushing down with force. Force. I can't do it. If I put my thumb right here and I push down this knife, I can't even make it move. Now, if I choke up a little, I'm a good ways up this knife, and I push hard. Y'all hear that? I've just now can start that blade moving. This thing is, you talk about being nervous of one folding up on you. This ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to shut up for a minute, and I'm just going to let y'all experience these acoustics, because they are next level. Hear that? Hear that going into half stop? How about full open? Let's see if I can get that right there to stop without cutting myself, because this will do some damage. That spring. You guys have heard me talk about a wall before on a half stop. This is the poster child for a wall. Check this out. See how far I'm holding that back? Listen to that. How about this way? That is a rock solid wall. Folks, this has some of the best walk and talk. And I know you're going to say whatever. A 4-component Barlow made out of aluminum and stainless steel. It has some of the best walk and talk I have ever encountered on a pocket knife. EVER ever. It's stellar. And you just have to have this in hand to experience it. Right there, what are we at? Probably right at the 30% now. Just give it just a... Folks, we talk about gator snap. I don't know what is stronger than gator snap. Shark snap, maybe. I don't know whose bite strength is actually more ferocious. But folks, if there's something out there stronger than a gator snap, this is it. I'm telling you, and it took a wicked edge. This thing is sharp. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I promise you, if you made the mistake and you had your old finger in this path right here, when this thing closed, you're going to be digitless. You got problems and situations. You hear what I'm telling you? It would cut you good. But anyway, something else that's really cool about this is the thinness behind the edge. We talked about the sharpness, and this is stupid sharp now. Just stupid sharp. I sent a video to a buddy of mine last night, Bobby, RDS Wood Turning and Acrylics, and I was showing him, I was telling him, about this new knife, and I was putting the edge on it. Well, I took a notepad. It has the perforated lines, the lines going across, and I told him, I said, check this out. I held that piece of paper up, and that whole way, we just held it loosely, and I cut the line all the way across. I started on one line and just, and the piece of paper fell in half. Cut the line all the way. I mean, redonkulous sharp. And thin, I am talking about darn near open nail thin behind the edge. And if you know, you know, because over here on this channel, to me, the king of the slicers is the open nail. Those open nail knives. Whew, this ain't far off of it if it ain't right there with them. So this would be a great user. I mean, yes, is it rudimentary? Is this bone? Is this stag? Is this, you know, this is not carbon steel on this one. This is stainless. Again, that's what they were going for. Pretty much a stainless, rust-proof, rust-resistant knife. So they went stainless steel and all aluminum. But folks, this is a worker. Here's my MKM magnetic slip. And when I shut up this morning, it's going in it, and I'm gonna tote that sucker. Well, like I said, I made my what you toting today. It's going. It's what I'm toting today, and I got it yesterday. This thing is just, to steal Dwayne's line one more time, cooler than creek water, and it is, folks. Got the we have, like I said, I don't know if I've talked about it. We have some stifling here. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Kind of definitely heavily textured right there. And then, you know, again, this is all one piece of cast aluminum, and it stops right here, and we go into the faux bolster, you know, like a Barlow would have. But anyway, like I said, this is a Granddaddy Barlow frame, closed up. This is 5 inches closed, so good size, stout spring, scary thin behind the edge. Not gonna rust on you. Fishermen, hunters, you know, you want to throw this in a boat, in a fishing, in a tackle box, and kind of forget about it, really kind of neglect it. Very seriously doubt this is gonna, you know, within reason, you know what I'm saying? If you leave it wet in a wet, you know, damp environment for years, it may get some rust on it, but this is darn near pretty impervious to the elements, and had never heard of it in my life. But the Big Chief, we'll show you that one more time on that etching, if it'll come through. Number 45, have no idea, don't look like that's coming through. Number 45 Barlow, Big Chief, one piece integral aluminum Barlow. I love it, folks. Like I said, as soon as I shut up here, we're gonna throw it in this pocket slip, and we're gonna get to cutting and slicing and dicing today. This is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward. I wanna, you know, I may make omelets this morning where I can cut up some onions and bell pepper. It's a knife that makes you want to use it. Like, look for opportunities. What can I cut with this? Man, this would be killer on some vegetables. So we may make an old HT omelet this morning and cut up some good old veggies with this thing. But man, this thing is made to work, and like I said, took a screaming edge, and we're gonna work it. We are gonna do a lot of cutting with this, and I think it's just awesome. So thank you. I don't know if it flew under my radar. You guys may say, oh, HT, you know, and it has, you know, HT, that's been around forever. And you're right. It's been around since like 1955, but it's flew under my radar. And maybe some of you guys out there hadn't seen or heard of this before, but now you have. So that's my spiel. Miss Abs up here at my side, probably telling me, let these good people get back to their Sunday. And that's what we're going to do. God bless you. We love you. Thank you for checking out the new toy. We're going to see you on the next one. HT out.
Buck knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests. It's a sight to see.